What's going on, guys? Lethality here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to give you a full guide on vehicle cargo in GTA Online. But before we get to that, if you guys find yourself enjoying my content, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Alright, so let's get right into it. What do you need and how much is it going to cost? Well, the first thing you're going to need is an office. You can buy them from the Dynasty 8 Executive website. Doesn't matter which office you have. This one right here is the cheapest for $1 mil. So that's probably the best option if you don't have one. You don't really need to spend more for like Maze Bank or Arcades Towers. But if you want to, go for it. Anyways, once you have that, you will then need a vehicle warehouse. Now the location for these really doesn't matter. I bought one that was close to the highway just to make it a little bit faster. But overall, it doesn't really matter. The cheapest one is going to be the one right here for 1.5 mil. And this one isn't in a bad location. I would just avoid the one down here and avoid the one over here. Any other one really works. A lot of people like the ones over here, either this one here for 2.7 or this one here for 2.5, because they're also near some main roads that lead right to the highway. But this one here is like 2.8, but it is like right next to the highway. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. But those are your options. So it'll cost you around 2 to 2.5 mil, depending on whether or not you have an office. If you have one, it won't be more than 2.8 because that's the most expensive one you can get. But let's talk about how you actually get the vehicles to sell now, and that's by sourcing. Now, there's a couple tricks you want to do with this to source the highest range vehicles. So how do we force the game to give us the type of vehicles we want? Well, it's actually pretty simple. When you get vehicles, you either get a top range, a mid range, or a standard range. Now, we want the top range because they sell for the most. And the way we do that is we want to get 10 standard ranges and 10 mid ranges. And then these 10 of each, we will leave in our warehouse. And then in that case, we will only get top ranges. However, you need to make sure that you keep 10 or less top ranges. If you go above 10, there's a chance you can get duplicates of standard mid ranges. So if you have more than 10 or 10, you want to sell at least one. So when the next time you source a car, it'll be a top range. Now, I actually have 12 top ranges. Now, there's a different reason for this. But basically, if I wanted to go and source more cars, I would need to sell off some of these to get the right range of vehicles. Alright, so now let's get to actually sourcing. Now, I'm going to show you one mission just to give you an idea of what they can be like. But realistically, they're all pretty easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and source a vehicle. Now, like I said, I won't get a top range, maybe. And if I don't, I'm still going to source the vehicle, but I just want to give you guys kind of an idea of how it goes. So we actually got lucky. I did get an Osiris, which is a top range, so that's good. But basically, we're just going to go ahead and do whatever the assistant tells us. Now, when you source vehicles, if they get damaged on the way there, your mechanic will charge you a repair cost. Now, there are some missions where it's unavoidable. You will have a repair cost whether you crash or not, just because you get shot at and the vehicle will get shot. But there are other ones where, you can avoid them. Now, a lot of the missions do involve taking out some guys and stealing the car. And in those ones, if that happens, you will need to take some damage. Unless you want to take out the NPCs. There'll be 4 waves. But in my opinion, the speed of just doing it and getting like a couple $1,000 repair cost is better than the time it would take to take out the 4 enemies to conserve the money, because the money that you'll make and the time you save is more than what you'll pay in terms of damages, at least in my opinion. So there are missions where it's really as easy as to go to the vehicle. It's just like drive around and steal it. There's one where it's on a racetrack and you gotta like take out the guy in the driver's seat and take it. There's one where you gotta pick it up off an RFC barge with a cargo bob. And then there's ones kind of like this where the car has like a security detail and you kind of need to like take him out stealthy to get the car. But what I've noticed with this one at least is they always get alerted no matter how stealthy you are. So, we're going to have NPCs after us, but it's not the end of the world. I'm going to hop in here, and normally I get cops. I didn't get them this time, so I'll go ahead and engage the boost. But as you can see there, I got $549 of repair damage from going through the sign, and that's unavoidable. That's going to happen whether I'm the best driver in the world or not. So, like I said, it is unavoidable, but it's not too much. And you see here, I have a helicopter and a car on me, and they are already causing more damage to the car. And so I could take these guys out if I wanted to, 4 waves of them, and then I wouldn't have to worry about them. But like I said, I think overall, it's better to just go ahead and deliver the car. You might pay like, I don't know, maybe 5K on the upper end normally of repair cost, but I believe that overall it's better than taking the time to take out 4 waves of NPCs, especially for where my warehouse is, like right here. It's actually pretty close. Even the cheapest one is not in a bad area. The only thing I don't like about that is the gang members there will get aggravated. Even if you get shot at, they'll still get mad, and they might shoot at you. I've never really had that happen more than once, but it can happen. But normally when you get close to the warehouse, the NPCs will peel off, as you'll see this helicopter will do very soon. So we're going to come up to the warehouse here, and he's basically not going to come much closer than he is now. So, like I said, it is unavoidable damage, pretty much. $3,000, not too bad. I've definitely gotten less, but I've gotten more. So, that's pretty nice. Now we're going to get into selling vehicles. So, when you want to sell a vehicle, you simply just going to head to the computer in your office, and you're going to choose which vehicle you want to sell. Now, if you want to sell more than one, you'll just have to have more people in your CEO and in the warehouse. Now, really quick, what I want to touch on is these collections here. These are basically certain variants of each vehicle that you need to get, and if you have a certain amount, like if you have these certain 3 or these certain 4 or 2 or whatever, basically there's 10 of them, and if you have them, you can sell these, and you can sell them for the specialist dealer value, which I'll talk about in a second, without having to pay the modification costs, and everyone in your organization will get this bonus, depending on the car. It's 20,000 for 2 cars, 50,000 for 4, and 35,000 for 3. However, the thing is with these, you do have to get like standard mid-ranges, and you also have to get a certain variant. Now, I actually went through and I did a really hard challenge, and I got all of them at the same time, all in my warehouse at the same time. But this took me probably like anywhere from 20 to 30 hours of sourcing vehicles. It took me a super long time, and I even cheesed it by force spawning certain vehicles. So I would not recommend doing this, but if you want to do this for the career challenge, then you can do that, but I wouldn't recommend doing this. Now, let's get back to exporting. So, we got our extra Osiris top range. I'm going to sell this, not this version, I'm going to sell this version because I want to keep my collections just because. But basically, we're going to choose export, and we're going to click on export. Now, here's what I was talking about. Specialist dealer obviously is going to pay us the most, but we also going to pay 20K in our modification cost. Like I mentioned with the collections, you actually get the 100,000 per car, well, if it's top range, but you don't have to pay the 20K modification cost. However, like I said, it's not really worth it to go for the collections, so we're just going to go ahead and pay that 20K cost. Now, if you can, when selling vehicles, I'd recommend being in a lobby with other rival players. Like, if you can find a lobby that's, like, pretty dead, but has at least, like, 1 or 2 other people when you sell, that's best, because what's going to happen, as you'll see in this video, when I sell, is I'm going to get some NPCs after me, and that's the game's way of trying to make it so it's, like, harder to sell in a solo lobby. Now, if you can get friends, it's awesome, but if not, I'm going to show you basically how you can deal with the NPCs. Now, they will spawn at different areas depending on which warehouse you have. I'm going to show you the one for this one, but if you have the cheapest warehouse, like down here, if you drive to like the bridge, they'll spawn midway through the bridge. But basically, you just want to take your car, and wherever the NPCs spawn, you just kind of want to pull off to the side of the road and then work on taking them out. So like for me, they spawn right around, not this intersection, but the next one up. So I'm going to pull off the road here, kind of like in the hills. And as you can see, they spawn. As soon as they spawn, you want to get out of the vehicle, because chances are if they miss you, they'll hit the car. So you want to try to stay out of the path of their bullets. Basically, you're just going to go ahead and take them out. I use the railgun to take out the vehicles, because, you know, it's just easier, and I can buy ammo through the interaction menu. But basically, you just want to go ahead and take them out. There will be 4 waves of them that are supposed to come. Now sometimes they don't spawn that fast, and what you can do to spawn them faster is run over to the vehicle or maybe even sit down in the vehicle. Normally that will force the NPCs to spawn in, because for some reason sometimes they just do not want to spawn. So if you get in and like drive it a little bit, it'll force them to spawn in. As you can see, they just spawned in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep taking them out. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, is I'm switching to the sticky bomb and then back to the railgun to do a quick reload. It's a little trick that you can do to reload faster instead of having to wait for your character to like reload the gun pretty slowly. It's also good if you miss because it allows you to get another shot off pretty quick. My assistant aim is doing some weird stuff here. And I'm dead because I couldn't eat snacks. I just suck, apparently. Anyways, I respawned here. They won't actually shoot the vehicle, so it's not the end of the world if you don't kill them. But I got one there, and then the other one is... there he is. Dead. Now, you do want to watch out. You'll see I didn't blow this car up, and the reason is I don't want the fire from that car blowing up to spread to the vehicle. So you just want to keep that in mind when you're doing these. Try not to get fire to spread to your vehicle. Now, if you have like the cheapest warehouse and it's like on the bridge, you don't need to really worry about fire spreading because it won't spread as much as it does in the grass here. But anyways, that's going to be the 4 waves. So I like to do this on the commission because they will take a lot of money out of your commission to the point where it's not really worth it. But on the source mission, it's not too bad. But for selling, I don't recommend taking them out. But anyways, now that they're gone, I can simply go ahead and deliver the vehicle to the buyer. And as long as I don't crash, I'll get my full $100,000. Profit 80k minus the, like, what, 3,500 I paid for the repair cost. So all in all, that's like over $75,000 profit. Now, once you have it set up so you can get only top ranges, you should realistically be able to source and sell a vehicle within 10 minutes. There is a 15-minute cooldown per vehicle you export. But all in all, if you do it effectively, you might make anywhere from like, I don't know, maybe, let's say 300 to 350k per hour. So do this for like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours, and you'll easily make well over $1 million. So it's a good way to grind money in terms of if you don't mind doing non-passive ways. If you want to do like passive stuff like MC businesses, obviously this isn't like that. But it's a really easy way for anyone who has to grind money because it's simply basically just driving the car from point A to point B, then taking it back, and you just have to try not to crash. Now, the NPCs in this are notorious for crashing into you, so it probably will happen at least like once every few sales, unless you take it slow. But you know, that's just kind of how it is. It's not too bad, just, you know, as long as you're decent at driving, you can definitely make some good money off of this. So I'm gonna shut up and just go ahead and deliver this to the buyer. Alright, so we're almost the buyer here. I'm gonna do a little bit of a shortcut to show you guys for this one. If you come up this way and then go around the vineyard here, it allows you to kind of hop up onto the road without having to drive all the way around over there. You just kind of hop up here. Now if you don't take it fast enough, you might crash or you might take some damage, but I got lucky, I didn't. And then we're just going to simply go and deliver this. Now, something funny you can do if you have proximity mines on your weapon loadout is if you place them like around here where they drive out, you can actually get them to blow up on the way out. But I don't have proximity mines on my custom weapon loadout, and I checked earlier. Yeah, I can't disable it, so no proximity mines for me. So we're just going to go ahead and deliver this thing. And there we go. We didn't crash, so we got our full 80k for the commission. So like I said, we made around 75 plus K because I didn't have any like damage aside from the repair cost that I got when sourcing it. So there it is, 100k commission. And that's really all there is to vehicle cargo. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video on vehicle cargo. If you guys found it enjoyable or helpful, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. Remember to subscribe for more content, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.